where you've just touched. There are people, especially women, that are suffering in the hands of men when it comes to getting jobs.
Exactly.
Some, they want to sleep with you for you to get a job. And trust me, the moment you start channel, my name is Peter Sheikh Skyra, favored the Slim Giant, the Smart MC Nangula, Shimpundu. Well, if you've not subscribed to my YouTube channel, the best thing that you can do right now is to hit the red button, switch on the notification bell so that every time I post a new video, you will be notified that Vashimpundu has posted a new video. And now today on the Chat On with Peter Sheikh, something different. I'm featuring a friend that has been to university, a graduate actually. But then we are living in a country, Zambia, where to find a job, you can work, finish your little savings, you can finish your shoes. Actually, you even start walking barefooted just for you to look for a job. And after going through all those struggles, you will not see or find that job. You will not. That is in Zambia, everywhere in Zambia. That is what is happening. Even on a funeral, for you to have nice food, you have to have connections, like connections. You have to know somebody who's in the kitchen so that you can have shima with chicken or meat. Otherwise, even at a funeral, you are going to eat beans or cabbage. Na pachililo feyari kos kukwata ma connections. That's for you. Uliye kofie utuntutusuma. That's the Zambia we are living in. And for you to have a job, even after graduating 4 years, 5 years, 3 years out of college, university, you need to have connections wherever you're going to look for a job. But this one, let us dig deeper on what happened to her after university. See you on the other side. Peter Sheikh Skyra, favored the Slim Giant Vashimpundu. Yeah, like I said, I'm gonna be hosting my guest. She's a graduate, this one, as you're looking at her right now. Lisa, welcome to my
Thank you so much, Peter.
Okay, I already told people in the intro that we are living in a country where it's hard to find a job, even as a graduate, and some graduates out there that are even watching us right now, all they think about is, okay, the moment I get out of college, I'm done university, I have to go and find a white collar job. Exactly. According to what they studied. Exactly. You understand? So after graduations, they face disappointments. Mm-hmm. They face the society. Mm-hmm. Yes, so Lisa, I just want to ask a few questions so that we can know what you went through after graduating at the University of Zambia. When did you graduate?
I actually graduated in 2013 on the 18th of December. Yes.
2013? Yes. 18th December?
Yes, please.
Ah. Yeah. Okay. And how long did it take you to look for a job in this Zambia?
Job. Funny thing, when I graduated, like 3 weeks down the line, I received a call from Ministry of Community Development that they had a job for me because I had just dropped my application like two days before they called me. So I went there and then they just interviewed me a bit and said, what we're going to do is, since we have called you from the ministry, we need to take these papers to, where is that? Is it PSMD, Public Service, yeah. So that they get to sign and do the final process, then they send me to Chairman District.
And I'm sure you were excited.
Yes, I was very excited. Imagine who gets a job whereby I just applied, like I didn't even write or specify which job I was applying for. I just applied and dropped. They were not advertising or anything like that. So I was so excited. So that's how they got my documents and said they were going to take them to PSMD and everything would be done like 2 weeks time. They were going to finalize my papers and all, and I'll be going to Chairman District. So funny thing, in those 2 weeks while I was waiting, I was so excited, even though I didn't even know where Chairman District was and how people would tell me, it's a village, you are not supposed to be so excited. I'm like, I'm getting a job. And the position itself, it's what made me excited, because I was supposed to be a district health information officer for Chairman District. So 2 weeks went. I wasn't receiving any call from PSMD, so I decided to follow up. So I followed up with this man. I can't mention his name.
Yeah, exactly.
Then he told me to say, okay, just give us another 2 weeks, because the people are supposed to sign another round, So I continued waiting. 2 weeks passed. Then that's like now a month has passed, me waiting. And then the man who had called me at first told me to say, I need your papers again, because we are going for a workshop, and those people that we need to sign to make final signing will be at the workshop.
So those you gave the man at first, he lost them.
He lost
Zambia.
So I gave them back. I gave them another set of documents and all. And then 3 weeks went, nothing, 1 month, so 2 months.
2 months.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, this is getting interesting. After 2 months, he called again. It was like he was in Kasama. And those people who are supposed to sign again, they might be there, so I should send documents. I had
did he mean that on the second time,
yes,
the people were not there?
It didn't work. They were not there. So I had to send my documents. I'm in Lusaka. I had to send them to Kasama. The good part was my dad was like my dad, my uncle, whom I call my dad. Yeah, he's my dad, was in Lusaka, so I gave him the papers, and he took the papers for me to Kasama. I had to drive to go to Kasama, because that's where he stays anyway. And then they had to meet the man and give him the papers. After those papers, our time kept going. 3 months now, 4 months now. I kept calling and following up. They said, no, it's going to be finalized. And you know what? The most painful thing was, when I got that job, I had posted on Facebook to say, I have a job.
Yeah. Facebook.
And the whole world knew that Lisa has a job. So now, whereby it became so difficult for me to go out, because I'll meet people, I'll meet my friend, and they'll keep asking, aren't you supposed to be in Chama? What are you doing? And that's what was happening. I would go to church, everyone is asking. My spiritual dad had announced in church that Lisa has a job. So I had to I reached a point whereby I stopped going to church. I stayed for months without going to church.
Yeah, because you cannot avoid the questions, and you can't manage to explain to everybody.
Exactly. And I stopped taking certain calls, because I knew when the call comes, they'll start asking me, where are you? How is the job going? I think I would love to believe to say at some point I even entered depression.
Jesus.
It's not by maybe the people who are where I was living, they didn't even actually notice, because I would stay at home, I would stay indoors the whole day, and I used to remain alone at home. So I would stay indoors the whole day, I would sleep, I just became so depressed, and I think they didn't even notice that I was depressed. So
and this body that you have, depression.
Yeah, I know, right?
Our body.
But a time came when I had to face reality to say this job, it will not come.
To
I
pass.
need to start all over again. And that time I remember just God. I'm a believer. I love God and I always hear God.
And I believe being a believer, when you receive that call, like, oh, God has dropped just a miracle.
Yes, exactly. For me it was a miracle. So I heard one day God said, like, I kept complaining to him. I'm like, how could you embarrass me like this? I was just so upset. And then God just told me, why are you upset? You just get up and save me and see what I will do. So from that day, I remember the following day was a Sunday. I was like, I'm going to go to church. I don't care who's going to ask me, what are you doing in Lusaka? I'm just going to go to church.
Say hello, talk to my Father God. He will explain to you.
Exactly. And I remember, Peter, I never even felt ashamed. I went to church. Of course, I received those questions. What are you doing here? I'm like,
Didn't you receive? Why have you not been coming to church?
Yes. Imagine. I remember my spiritual dad would actually check on me to ask, how are you? How are things going? We miss you at church and all. I would like to him that I go to a church nearby in the actual sense. I was just at all.
Oh my God.
And that's how bad it was.
And how long did you stay without going to church?
I can't even count the months.
Because of a job. You see what people are doing in Zambia, those that have got companies and the government. You are not giving people jobs. They are graduates, they've got papers. You are getting them to go into depression. Because of you people.
Yeah, so I can't even count the months. All I remember is I started going to church. I started applying again. And I remember I could meet people when I'm dropping my applications. I meet my friend and they are asking, why are you dropping applications? You have a job. I'm like, oh, that job. It didn't work. It didn't work. So yeah. So I stayed for, of course, at some point I even tried, I had an auntie who used to work for PSMD.
Connections.
Yes, connections. So I had to go. I remember I even shifted to her house just to see
so
if she can help me to get that job, but she couldn't just.
Sometimes
there are so many people involved.
Sometimes it's very funny.
Yeah.
You find that at times it can be a relative that can help you, but then again they are the ones that don't want you to get a job. That's what happens, because
that's a sad reality.
They want you to depend on them so that they can control you.
Exactly.
It's crazy.
Exactly.
So in your search for a job after your graduation in 2013,
yes.
Did you face arrangements where you apply for a job, somebody who's at a certain company, they want you to pay them for you to have the job? Did you face incidents where the person who's at the company or a company is asking for 4 years experience to employ you, but you're just coming from the university?
Exactly. I faced a lot of those. I faced a lot of, I think I remember even one man at PSMD, like he was like, let's just talk. It's more like maybe I had to pay something for him to push that job for me, but me and my conscience and my God, I can't just do that. I had some moments whereby men actually, big men started following me and telling me, I'll get you the job before you could date me, when you could do this and that. I was like, no, I think you don't know me. I can't do that.
Yeah, and it's a sad reality where you've just touched. There are people, especially women, that are suffering in the hands of men when it comes to getting jobs.
Exactly.
Some, they want to sleep with you for you to get a job. And trust me, the moment you start sleeping with that person who wants to find a job or give you a job, you will never stop sleeping with that person.
Not at all,
because
not at all.
When they sleep with you, they give you the job.
Yeah.
Whenever they want to sleep with you, they'll be coming back.
Exactly.
If you refuse, they'll
tell you,
threaten you.
Exactly.
So you have no choice. You become a slave, a sex slave to them.
I imagine.
Oh
so
my God.
me and my conscience and my God, I couldn't just, and I remember turning a lot of them down. And I was like, I would rather continue suffering than get a job because I slept with a man, or get a job because I paid them. Because it will haunt me the rest of my life. I will always remember how I got where I am. I would rather get where I am very, very clean and knowing that I didn't
Nshabo inshira shortcuts.
Yes, exactly. exactly. So yeah, there were those moments, of course. And I remember 2 years, it was easy in the first 2 years for me because my dad then was still alive. So sometimes when I am broke, I'll just Dad, I need some money. And it's more like he kept me on a monthly upkeep. So every month I would get money from him. He would send me money for this and that. Now, the reality, reality came when he died, actually. Whereby now, of course I had my aunties, but it's very difficult to be a dependent and it's very difficult also for them, like every time they are thinking we need to give us something or what. But so when Dad died, it was a very sad reality because I was thinking to myself, okay, what is going to happen to me here in Lusaka? Because my immediate family are in Kasama and they kept on telling me, come to Kasama, now Kasama. There were no things for me. I never just felt like I should go back. So it was very, very sad when Daddy died. So I tried, and I remember after he died, I wrote a book called Triumph Over the Giants. And I was thinking to myself after I finished writing, because they had left us a bit of money, and I was thinking to myself, I'm going to use that money to publish my book. But still, I needed upkeep, so I needed to be using that money even for doing application, going to church, and when it finished, it wasn't. It was just a
I understand you. It's like where we are in COVID now, where you are just eating and not putting.
Yes, exactly. Money you haven't worked for.
It flies.
It flies like.
Especially the Zambian money, where there is an ego.
Where did it go? Yeah. So I couldn't publish my book, but I had finished writing. I wrote it in 3 weeks, and then time went on. Like I would enter competition, like writing competition, because they said if you win, they'll give you 10,000 for publishing the book. So and that's what I needed, and all, but it never just worked. So I kept applying for jobs, working.
And I guess being a Christian, by then you are just thinking God is failing me.
Yeah.
Your faith must have been going down.
Exactly.
But because sometimes, me being a Christian as well, there are times when I want answers. When I close my eyes, I pray to God. I want when I say amen, the answer is already there.
Exactly.
But that's not the way God works.
It was a process for me.
And talking about the death of your father, I can give you my own experience. I think at times when God sees you are too comfortable with certain people, it begins to remove them so that you remain alone, and it makes you strong. That's why he says, thank God in all seasons.
Yes.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
I lived with my mother, and she was my everything. I grew up with a single mother, and everything was being done for us.
Yeah.
Okay, we are mommy's boys. We are 5. And so she died, and it was from riches to rags.
Wow.
It was hard.
I can imagine.
So I went through some crazy lifestyle to get where I am today. Yeah.
So the journey continued, and I remember, I think there was a point when after Daddy died, like a month later, I received a call from this white man. And then he called me, was like, is this, my birth name is Chilombo. So it was like, is this Chilombo Sakala? I said, yes, this is she. Then was like, okay, this is Mike Roach. I used to work with your father. I don't know if you are busy tomorrow, like it was on a Sunday. And then the following day was on a Monday. You should come I'd love to have a chat with you. And I was like, okay, I will come. So I went the following day. I'll not mention where the company he used to work for. He was a general manager actually. So I met him, a very, very, very good man. And then he was telling me how he was so close to dad and how he would just love to help me, maybe just get a job in his company and all. Then he asked me what I wanted, like what kind of a job and all. We just had this chat and I was like, okay, I'll keep you posted. I'll keep you posted. I'll make sure I'll find something for you. And it all happened that in that process of him trying to get something for me, you know how I'd love to say there were people who are just jealous around to say, okay, where is she coming from? I remember at some point even arranged whereby they interview me, get an interview. I get an interview with them, and then they get to give me the job. But for some reason, whatever happened, it didn't just work. I had thought, okay, the interview, I had nailed it and I was going to get the job just there and then. But the same day, they called me to say, sorry, we cannot employ you. And he wasn't around then, he wasn't in town. And then I just said, okay. And I remember telling my grandmother, then she was like, you know how Zambia has become nowadays. So I'm sure or something like that. And I was like, anyway, the same, I'll contact Uncle Mike and just tell him of how grateful I am that she tried to get me a job and it just didn't work out. He's a very good man and I don't even know where he is right now. Yeah. So after that also, I had to, like a lot of people would call me, bring your CV. I don't know how many people I gave my CV. They kept on telling me to take my CV and all, but they were not.
When you give them, they even lose them.
Yeah, exactly.
So now, after searching for a job for this long, the ups and downs, what made you give up? To say, okay, I'm sick and tired of this thing. Let me just stop it.
Okay, so you know how I'm so passionate about cooking and baking, and I remember talking to my mentor. I'm like, I think I should just start a baking business or something like that. I started volunteering in different, like up to now I'm a volunteer at House of Hope Africa because I'm passionate about saving. I just don't love to stay and sit down. I love to be relevant wherever I am. And I also would volunteer at my mentor's organization and they would give me a token after I do my work and all that.
An idle mind is a devil's workshop.
Exactly.
So I'm sure that's the reason you don't want just to sit even after you are a graduate.
Yeah.
But you just don't want to sit. You want to do something. You even do voluntary work
for free. Yes.
And your friends are waiting. Your friends are waiting for what? Okay.
So so a point came when I just wanted to do something. Of course, I remember talking to my mentor. I'm like, you know what? And okay, at first I wanted to be independent. So I told my mentor, I want to be independent. Then she was like, okay, now how are you going to do that? Because you don't have a job like where you can sustain yourself every month and all. Then I was like, I don't know, I'm going to work or find any odd jobs that I can do. Like, I don't care what kind of a job. I would sweep, I would clean, I told her.
As long as it's clean money.
Yes, as long as it's clean money, I'm going to do the job. And she was like, okay, that's fine. Then there was a time I needed to publish my book. I remember approaching her to say I wanted just a loan to publish my books, then give back the money after I sell the books. So she was like, okay, I have some errands for you to run, and then I'll get to give you the money instead of you, instead of me loaning you. So she
She's
said,
a very good person.
very, very good woman. I'd have to mention her, but she's well known, so I told her.
You know it is well.
Yes. So she gave me errands to do. And I remember that day I went to Pakra, I went to council, I went to Ministry of Land. I
One
was
day.
all over. Yes, one day. And I remember I went now to like when I finished doing everything I was doing, I was like, I think this is what I was born to do. I remember I told her to say, if you have any errands or you know any bat, you should be calling me. Then she was like, okay, not a problem, not a problem. So that's how I think I started thinking of what I would do and that actually was the bait of Nitumeni, but I hadn't like more like shared on any platform to say, okay, this is what I want to do, this is what I am doing, and I remember my mentor would communicate with me. She says, there's someone who wants an errand done, but they need you to drive. Can you drive? I'm like, I last drove 4 or 5 years ago. My license should be expired this year. I'm like, I'm not confident on the road. Then she was like, okay, you need to you need to go back to driving school so that in case someone, and we had those talks. Then one day, I don't know, even her, she says, she doesn't know how it happened, but she just decided, okay, let me post, because she has a very huge following, let me post a story on Twitter and Facebook. So she posted to say, there's this young graduate I know, she graduated 5 years ago from that and she does errands for people, and her business name is called Nitumeni. So if you have any errands for her, just inbox me and I'll give you her line. And some people actually saw, a number of people saw that advert and one of the person it attracted was Mr. Gode Mukelevai. He works for ZMBC Radio 2. Then he called me the following morning. He was like, I'm going to have an interview with you. It will be on phone, but you'll be live at 7:30 and I'm like, okay. So meaning I was in bed the time I was receiving that. I didn't even know what the interview was going to be about, but it was telling me it's about what I saw your mentor post on. I had that interview and people were listening. And after that, I remember receiving calls. I have an errand for you. I received about a number of calls that day. And then after the interview, Mr. Gordon Clever was like, I'm going to connect you to Innocent Karaluka. So that's Smooth Ike. So he connected me to Innocent Karaluka. Innocent told me that you should come next week for a recording. Then I thought to myself, okay, my business is getting this attention, so I need to register it back
and give it a name.
Yes, so that it's authentic. Even when I go on TV, they know that it's an authentic business, and so that's how I registered my business with Pakra, Nitumeni Etands and Services, and the following week I went for an interview with Innocent Karaluka, and it was quite amazing. It was an amazing interview, but I couldn't post on Facebook to say, okay, I had an interview or this is what I'm doing, and I had to receive instructions from my father in heaven. I don't always do things. So I asked him, okay, when do you think I can post now? I can tell this story now to the whole world. And he specifically told me the day 18th October, 18 hours. And 18th of October we have National Day of Prayer and Fasting. And 18 hours after it is done, that's when you should post the story.
After the fast?
Yes.
I was thinking you didn't post because you learned from the previous post.
No. I posted after the fast and the response was just overwhelming. Within seconds I could see likes, shares, comments flashing from left and right and center.
So what made you, of course, from your explanation, Nitumeni Etands and Services was born after one major errand from your mentor.
Yes.
Why did you decide to give it a name, Nitumeni Errands and Services?
Nitumeni Errands and Services. So it's more like Nitumeni Errands and Services is like send me, I'll run for you. So I thought if people could send me to do their errands, so send me and I'm here to run for you. Nitumeni, like send me, I'll run the errands for you.
So now it's registered?
Yes, it's a registered.
Very authentic.
Authentic business. Real
OG.
business. And I'd love to mention, I once received comments on my post when I had posted, when I had launched my business from these people to say, I think they used to own a business called Nitumeni, I think Curia Errands and Services, and they thought I got the idea from them or something like that. No, I told them, no, I never even knew that you existed. I just went to Pakra, gave them 3 options of the names of how I wanted my business to be called, and they picked Nitumeni and all.
And that's the danger of having an idea and not registering it.
Yeah.
Because if it was registered, the name was there. Pakra couldn't have given you this.
They couldn't have given me.
You know, Zambians, when you have an idea, go and register that idea, even though it's not big. Start waiting for it to be big.
Yeah, but I think their company was big. I don't know, maybe something happened or they just got registered. I don't know. But anyway,
But I'm sure if it was there, they couldn't have given you.
Yes,
so their claim is nothing.
Yes.
It's just the same with us artists. When you do a song and you don't register it, if somebody gets the idea, sings it, goes and registers it, you lose. Even though you say, no, this is my song, listen to the first one, they'll be like, exam coach will be like, no, you didn't register.
Yeah.
So we can't do anything.
Yeah. So that's how I decided, like, instead of waiting for government to give me a job, let me do something that I'm actually not a fan of staying in the office the whole day. I love going out, I love running around and all. So it's something that I was enjoying. And I never thought actually, before the business was launched and everything, those are the things I used to do in the background. Like I would do for a family member, a friend. They tell me, I have this for you, can you do this for me? Then I'll give you just like a small token, a 50 kwacha or something. But I never thought that I could turn it into a business.
And you are still a graduate, but still working for an errand that you get a 50 kwacha.
Yes.
100 kwacha.
Exactly.
Oh my God.
It's giving me something.
Vane, learn something from this lady. It doesn't hurt to do a job that will give you clean money, and it doesn't matter how much you're getting out of it.
Yeah.
As long as you're doing something, you might not know who you can meet in the errands that you're doing.
Yeah.
And that will ask you questions like, you met a lady, I remember you posted something on Facebook where you met another graduate who's selling
tobacco,
you know,
in Soweto market.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So you might not know who you can meet in those errands or the small jobs that you are doing. You can even work for these booths. And everything.
Yeah. One
day God will open a door for you.
Yeah.
There is always a one day for somebody.
Yeah. And talking about booths, I remember at some point I even told, my mentor owns her own organization, but I don't know why. I think God never really wanted me to really work for someone or something like that. But she would always find ways on which I can, like she'd give me work, pieceworks, and go in an organization when they're having workshops or something like that. And I remember at some point she was opening a booth, and she told me, I went to approach her to say, I think I need anything that I can do. Like, do you have anything? Like, then she was like, I'm about to open an MTM booth. Are you willing to be doing whatever. Yeah. And I was like, yes, please. When are we starting? I even started learning how to
transact.
Yes, I went to a kabooth at the market in Kaunda Square with this girl, and I was asking her. She showed me. I even stayed with her like 2 days, like just learning how to do money transactions and and I was just ready to work anywhere. I didn't care whether I was getting more money or less money. So
as long as you're doing something.
Yes, doing something. Staying at home is frustrating. It's frustrating, especially staying at home and not doing anything.
Where you're being kept.
Yeah.
And now, talking of Nitumeni errands and services, as we're coming to the conclusion of the interview.
Yes.
What services do you offer?
Okay, so Nitumeni Errands and Services, it's an errand running business. We run errands on behalf of individuals and organizations that are busy to do certain errands. And some of the errands we do is we register businesses and companies with PACRA. We do ZRA T-pins. We do cleaning and odd jobs like cleaning the yard, cleaning the house. We do house sitting. We do grocery shopping. We do pickups and deliveries. We do, we don't want to limit ourselves to just certain errands. So whatever errands that you have, because clients usually come with different errands. Every day we discover a new errand. So long as it is an errand and you are too busy, you don't want, you want to focus your time to other things.
Do photos of what they do, so that you'll be able to see that this thing is real. Even though you're in the diaspora, you can call them, send the money, they go and buy and deliver. These are OG. Tema company yakwe bati bakunyunyana musajani bakubepa yo. This is original.
Yes.
So can they find you on Facebook, on social media?
Yes, they can.
Using what names?
They can find us on Facebook. Nitumeni Errands and Services. That's Nitumeni Errands and Services. That's our Facebook page. Also my
There's a number there?
Yes,
okay.
The number is 0976 555233. Like, you can directly WhatsApp us if you want that. If you want to order something or you want us to do something for you, or you can email us at nitumeniservices@gmail.com, or you can also follow my personal profile on Facebook, research Lombo Sakala Daisy. I'm also on Twitter, research Lombo Sakala. We are also on Instagram, research Lombo Sakala Nitumeni Services.
And they're also on YouTube. Go and subscribe. Lisa Sakala. Of course, with 4 subscribers, you're gonna be subscribers that are going to make the channel grow.
Exactly.
Go there, follow them. They post some videos.
Exactly.
Yeah. So Lisa, thank you for coming through.
Thank you, Peter, for having me.
But after saying your thank you, what can you tell somebody who is a graduate like you and they are just seated without looking for a job as we conclude?
Dear graduate, I was once like you. I thought when I finished my degree program, I was going to find a very nice job and I'll be in a very nice office and working and earning a lot of money. But life always is not always what we expect. So I'd like to encourage you, if you have any ideas, any business ideas that you would love to execute, can you please just do that? Stop looking at what is around you. Just believe that you can do it. It doesn't matter what you are facing right now. So long as you have those ideas, may you just implement them and see where they will take you. Of course, you'll be taking risks, but what is more important is that you take the risks and see where they take you. You might not know. You might just have a business like mine, or you might just have something that will help sustain your life, and so that you can be able to help others too, because you are called to save. So if only you could execute those ideas that you have. Others are asking me, capital is a problem for a lot of us young people. Like, we are always looking for capital to start a business. I remember sharing this with one of the girls who was asking me, how can I start a business with capital? I was like, the capital that you have right now is your relatives and your friends. Like, since you want to start a cooking business, start cooking for them for free and taking those photos that I do catering and all. No one is going to tell you to say you don't do catering because you're taking those shots and you're doing catering for free, and you might not know who you attract at the end. So yeah, just execute those plans and see where they'll take you.
So thank you so much for coming through.
Thank you, Peter Sheikh Sakala.
You're most welcome. And so I was talking to Lisa, a graduate who didn't look on a side where, you know, I should just look for a white collar job and then, you know, just sit waiting for the job to come. She thought of something, and that's how Nitumeni Etands and Services was born.
Yes.
You know, in this era where we are, this is not the time that you should just be waiting for a job because you've got papers and it is not coming. Actually, you can't even get rich using a salary. You have to have multiple ways of making your income. Use your talent, find some gifts that is in you. That's what is making people get into higher heights in life. Comedians, musicians, poetries, and other things. Use them wisely. So from me and Lisa on Chat On with Peter Shakes, bye-bye.